This is DevOps, Tech Ops Engineer, Innova Group Software, Canada. See that? You see? What do you see as a job qualifications? Do you see CI/CD pipelines? See that? CI/CD pipelines. And what else do we see? Bachelor's degree, don't worry about this one. And we see what? DevOps, 4 years, it's not a big deal. And cloud infrastructure engineer. Now, I'll tell you a story about the student who had a job yesterday. Now, the position she was interviewing for was a junior position. But when they got done with the interview, right, they said, no, you know what? We are going to give you a senior position. Now, that is not because she's too qualified. It was what? Just because of her conversation, right? Her understanding of the concepts throughout the interviews, right? The way, she's able to present stuff. In fact, she's able to, to distinguish herself, right? And because of that, what happened? So instead for them to offer her the junior position as was originally intended, what happened? She was offered, full time. I mean, a senior position. Now, look at something here. If you look at this job description, for example, right, this is a DevOps position. Okay, DevOps Tech Ops Engineer. All right, DevOps what? DevOps Tech Ops Engineer for this company, right? Look at it. You see that? See the salary, full-time permanent. Now look at the tools mentioned here. You see that? Now it also what? It's asking for CI/CD pipelines. Now, what are the tools involved in a CI/CD pipeline? Okay, and that is exactly what we are studying now. This is 4 years experience as a DevOps engineer, post-secondary in computer science, IT, mathematics, business. You see that? You see? So see, this is the reason why somebody like me, okay, I don't have any experience. I don't have any bachelor's of science in I don't have any bachelor's in computer science, right? This is my area of expertise. Okay. But you know what? I'm working in IT today. And just as many of you, right? So be encouraged. Okay, you are going to get hired. That is guaranteed. Okay, that is guaranteed. Now, it may delay, but if there's one thing that I have seen is that, you know what? If you are consistent, okay, if you're consistent and, and passionate, all right, you are going to get hired. Okay, you are going to get hired. You see that? Oh, you see this? It says what? Working knowledge of VS codes and Visual Studio's code. How many of you are using VS Code? How many of you? See that? VS what? VS Code, it mentions what? It mentions cloud formation, Terraform. Okay, and we are what? We are going to study Terraform. Terraform is an infrastructure as code tool. Companies use what? Uses Terraform to automate their infrastructure. So you guys saw how we went to AWS and launched a Red Hat server yesterday manually, right? Now with Terraform, right, we won't do that. So all we will have to do is what? Is to write what? Write the configuration to provision this easy to what? Encode. Okay, and just run one command. Terraform apply, it creates. Terraform destroy, it destroys. Right? See that? See? Terraform now, look at. So how many tools are you familiar with? In this one, job description, what do we see here? We see Git, right? Git. It says what? Versions control systems. Have used and understand what? Versions control system. This is a must. Okay? A must. And you guys see what we do here, right? You can see somebody like Baku, right? Is able to, trigger a whole CI/CD pipeline through what? Through a commit to a branch. Or a merge request or a pull request, and what happens? A series of downstream events, okay, it's been triggered because of that. So understanding of versions control is very, very important. That's the reason why if you look at our Jenkins flow, okay, one of the most important component or integration there is what is source code management. If there's no source code, your CI/CD pipeline cannot run. In fact, it can't even go anywhere, right? So Git is very important. Now, Git can go alongside what? GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, several other hosting platform. And we see AWS CDK TypeScript equivalent with AWS Cloud Formation tools or similar one, such as Terraform. So we have looked at this. This is what? Experience with release processes and what? And incorporating what? Pre-release validation. This is more of a mix between what? Between technical and non-technical processes. But the most important thing in this particular requirement is what? Is communication. It's just following the processes. And no two companies have what? No two companies have the same release process. Forget it, okay? The way a company like HP, for example, what releases is what is new features into production to the end users is very different from the way a company like Netflix, okay, is going to execute releases. Is different. But at the end of the day, right, every company has is internal release process. So for example, maybe before we deploy anything in UAT, okay, we must have a CAP approval. So it must be scheduled. Okay, so all the stakeholders must be involved in that process. So before DevOps goes ahead and trigger a pipeline that deploys the application into UAT. And what is UAT? UAT is what is users acceptance testing. So it's more of a pre-production environment. So before we go live, okay, we can deploy into UAT, and we can then have our QA team can come in there and perform tests. And one of such tests is what they call pen testing, penetration testing, and regression testing. Now, this has nothing to do with DevOps. Is what is done mostly by QA and developers. But DevOps is what is going to need result. Okay, need the result to what before we can then go ahead and promote those changes into production. So at the end of the day, is what it's all about collaboration, teamwork, and communication, right? So you may be very skilled, but if you lack that communication ability, if you lack that ability to collaborate, right, you may just not find yourself, okay, in some environment. See that? So this job mentions most of the skills that you are already familiar with. Now it talks about ELK stack. This is one thing that we are going to study. Is what this is: Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. This is all about monitoring, okay, and then experience, veterinary industries and access, okay, and all of that. So you see that in this job description, what do we see? Almost everything that is mentioned here is what we are going to study, and that's exactly what you are going to be assessed on as you go on, start interviewing. Let's look at one more job description. Okay, so this is a senior DevOps engineer, build and release, like what we are doing right now. Okay, if you come right here and you see this is full-time remote permanent. Let's look at the tools mentioned and compare with what we have done so far. Okay, what do we see here? We see share scripting, Python and Pure. We've done that. You see that? What else do we see? Do we see Docker? Now, after we are done with Jenkins, okay, the next thing we are going to study is what? Is Docker. Containerization with Docker. Okay, very important. Must have what? Working knowledge of cloud native technologies such as Docker. Okay, and we already you are already being exposed to AWS. Okay, you see, like when you go to AWS and you're able to create those instances, those are already what experience. But we are going to study AWS as a component in this course. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is to awaken your expectation, right? To have this broad feature, okay, or what the broad expectation on what you are getting into. And you see, look at the mighty pay here. 75 to 105,000 a year with benefit, and it's full time. So look at something. It says what? Plus Kubernetes. What else do we see? Do you see Bamboo or Jenkins? You see that? And what are we studying now? Jenkins, right? Jenkins, disaster recovery planning and implementation, high availability planning and okay, and what? Process verification and compliance. Don't worry about that. But look at something here. And if we come down here, again, what else do we see? We see work closely with the development team. You see that? Work what? Closely with the development team to identify and configure what? Software deployment, all right? Monitoring and configuration. So 3 components are what have been mentioned here. Configure what? Software deployment. So for example, when you provision Jenkins, you install Jenkins, right? You are able to access Jenkins on the browser. From there, you're able to integrate Jenkins with GitHub, integrate Jenkins with Maven to build a code. Okay. Integrate Jenkins with SonarQube, Jenkins with Nexus, and deploy to Tomcat. That's exactly what they're talking about here. Monitoring, like the ELK that we just saw, okay, minutes ago. Elasticsearch, Firebase, and Kibana. So, but what do you see here? The most important thing there is working closely in collaboration. The good thing is that when you work closely, right, it has a lot of advantages, right? Because you know what? You learn from your other team members. They also learn from you. So if you guys are going to fail, you fail together, and you succeed You succeed together. That's the beauty of IT. And what else do we see here? It says what? Configure on-prem AWS virtual machine using Chef. Now, there is an alternative to this particular tool called Ansible. Don't worry, and that's what we are going to study. It says what? Set up CI/CD pipelines. Okay, using what? Using Atlassian Bamboo or Jenkins. See that? So please, what we have done so far, you can apply for a job like this that has Jenkins. You can go for this job and you speak about what you know and what you have done with Jenkins, and you're going to be okay. So what is your job title now? Okay, with what we have studied right now, you can start looking for these job titles. Build and release engineer. See that? So these are your opportunities. See that? Look at the mighty salary, right? This is mighty. This is not fake. Okay, this is not fake. So setting up load balancers and LB rules. These are all tools we are going to study. What do you see here as benefit? And this is exactly what we're talking about. You see, work from home, efficient care, life insurance, extended health benefits, disability insurance, and dental care. Schedule is 8 hours. All right. And what else do we see here? Work Mondays to Friday. What's the work location? Work remote. See that? You can work remotely. So this is just to align, okay, what we are studying, okay, to what is on the market, okay, what we are studying, and okay, what is on the market, because it's good to know. This is not some kind of literature or international relations. No, the program you are studying is it's a very, very practical program. The jobs are there. Do your own research, okay, and so now you can ask yourself, or you can start doing some kind of self-assessment. Oh, what do I know about Jenkins? I think that maybe next week we are going to do some kind of individual presentations, okay, on CSD pipelines. So, I mean, just explain to us what do you understand by a CI/CD pipeline. So, if you are going to be a build analyst manager in a company, right? What are you going to do to set up what? A continuous integration and continuous deployment pipeline. What tools are you going to use? How are you going to integrate them? How are you going to work together with your team? Because look at something, at the end of the day, everything you are doing, okay, it's part of your projects. Is what? It's personal. But in the work environment, you will never do those alone. Forget it. All right. Is what? It's always going to be collaborative. But the good thing is, you know what? You have a broad understanding on what should be done. And this is what makes you very different. Okay. So please pay attention with what we are doing here, because it's really gonna harm. Like, start going online, look for the job opportunities, read the job description, right? Because the more you look at them, okay, you see this? Now look at something here. It's what? Intent, okay? DevOps what? DevOps Corp Intent. This one is in Ontario. Anyway, it's not really big. But this opportunity what? If you just search it online, right? If you're, for example, if you're in the US or you're in Africa, search for titles like this. And if you see intent, apply. Okay? Apply. Because so far, what happened? You know something. And if you're in Pakistan, start looking for this kind of opportunities. Intent. Now, if you find yourself in a company like Nokia, okay, it's a very big opportunity. There's no way they are going to train you and let you go. They're going to hire you. Okay? You see that? So we have what? We have a lot of opportunities for DevOps. So please take advantage of this. It's very important, and be encouraged. All right? You see that? DevOps what? Core. Canada Life Assurance Company and all of that. So these are good opportunities. Let's take advantage, okay? And let's join. So, so far, any question before we continue? Any questions? Alors, non, ça va faire ça. Bon, pas de fire. Yes, oh. Tu vas en avoir. Bon, je na miaka. Mon plan ma junda mo. Understand? So, keba binga kama fango eni chema ji keba ribo. Mon plan ma yeta nyum. Yanga nka mane kubanda maka rumo so mun tama junda ga. Understand? Mo chumaga, mo chumaga ndoko ndap ndi diba. Ila keba nyumi akot na we. Ila ngane mo chumaga. Ale mo chumaga ngate ya yalan plans ngate ma achieve. Understand? Wa umba maji njo yo na mea njo yo na njo yo na mea ni baba makuti majunda maji January mun chuma ji yanga maji yore ngumfi anne da kam jam understand mo ko fa yi da ane mun chuma baba Christmas men ko we show mo so exactly na o am o 40 40 ka one mo yeah Original no me but ilam put men dai put men dapat ma Cameroon so abonga ye yang anta nyum so menta ye yang nyum bonga bi ma tina ni yang nyum bi ba don't be calling me again and telling me all of these things because I've already tried that moment to support in that at least two man that in my I don't have anyone to give me again. As easy as that. You know. Kane ko mo mun tuwa kan jori na mi kan jori na ni mi bua kenti. Fanti mo mbe mun ba. Understand? Mi nge yanke mun ta ma achieve ma jelum fi. O you know. Fanti mo mun dinji ban nge yanke mun ta ma achieve ma jelum fi. Mo ma ko ni wanki me on kiti bo ni kiti bo. Ano ula ni yanke ban dika forget it. Keke yente. Ah so pole mo linda. Edon ba nga non edon ayo mo di bo use GT. Understand? One thing okay. Ni mo le bo ye mi mo bo ya ya sen bo ya kan di bo fo kapa. Ni on display. O ga use na como se na o que mo. Isa ba kan tam ni ele nunca pa. Ngen tam audio for now. I'm just you know 10,000. Use the American I just play be na ye mo. You know, solution will you everything. Master. I beg ya. Ko be ni nga o. Nka bim ga mun tos for in that anani mi yema beti ka tuma ni bojo mun chaka am nda ndo senten da ananda bi sentima ego ko mangi yang ke plan man tanga ye mun ka chu se tin chuma de ganga so ko la chuma e ke bin kamba so at this moment so yang kan bonga bi ban bi ye ko bige boni fa so ko ina ponje mo ko ya be ke na kai so ba chuma ka ban kuchu mo chwa chwa kuchu ngano chuba ngano ina nyumke yingan nga mun chuma njuli na walo ni na kan ni tige so ina ko chudu ina ko chu chikba ni tige tinga yang project ni ta ma achieve ma di dum fi yang first project no den tuma Cameroon abu ma ni yinga ma Cameroon ba kren jun ta ba kren jun cha ta yang one thing I don't want to get on top with anyone from now but and is anybody who loves me should be able to understand that understand it's as easy as that you know one do ada muncul yang muncul ada muncul kan dia nga ujinga ndio ina mea abali ni mo mo kebe mo ket na mo nunu lele maji yongule boanya kenti la maji January February mucho por oye no no me maji ani chumaka ani chuma nyo na me between now and February get planning with ama chiva and boy and kenti and to nganya focus ma sentile by God's grace and even into wow get you can basically Atua atua biba no atua biba atua atua biba mo era ga chui na mi do ya ga mo to support da pan support da ga jinga fa yin jamela December June my year more big investment and I am focus on my year so it's not like uh yeah, to be grateful now for what we have done so far. Yeah, yeah, for more me akundo enti mo mbo ga fun bo ni fa we enti ayo na ya mo go find the abo find the emo la okay me to mo get whatever okay mo din bay la me da yi nganyum ni bo mi dinga list na junda yes no bon bon ma to chima Cameroon Jesus Christ you know mun to ma Cameroon abo mo bo ba nga bo bo vira bo ge plama ma to chima Cameroon bo na to ma Cameroon ta to fi ta nga bo bo ma Cameroon ka ya bo ba ya bo ba kala da ya de ba ibo to chia so bo nga bo ge jaman la ma ya ni ma Cameroon ga le bo bo ni ya retirement di me ti mo fa to chima Cameroon sa ko ba la bo est ce que bo de ko ma Cameroon ke bo tu da tu mi ga le bo tu da a bonga ne okunda Cameroon okunda Cameroon first okubo forward la mo ndunda bla ofla no pinable again 2 times. That what you lot of done in Cameroon. So Kele make Cameroon bong is not stable. Me just the cheating. I will work Cameroon by you work di kwa yemu kwa yin ngana. Yemu na bi babla kun mama for you just David so ikwa bokela. Problème lo kalonga bi tunda bla. So Kele make me ako ma kinye ke bonita. Mana kuna ma Cameroon, prima Cameroon kwa yanka. Ntonyo ni muiba as supervise it. Me people like it. Bueno, no, America, nyange kwa muke mpili ya mambo. Tina hapo kwa chini kwa mtu. Ujinga njama ya understand. Iyo ndebu chima ngoma ni mwaye mo ni ndaba akubonga to. Ngani buchira ni ndaba ka akubonga bonga ujunga nda toma jikwa ndi kwa ndi memfoti. Please. Mo se bito bisu jinga kwa endo visit. Na Moi lo kwa manda lo kwa no. Mama ikundu manda lo kwa. You can pay attention to it. You don't know. Domanda. Non che era lui. Non che avevo nico. Era lì qua. Non con vivo. Era non so qua. Yes, almost smoke. Love you.